Well, 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 Black Clover, you actually kept the old man dead. Okay, I know, as I said in my last week review of Black Clover, I said at the end of the day, the character isn't really that important in the grand scheme of things, but even then, though, it's still a big step forward, just to show that the writer of Black Clover is, in fact, willing to kill off characters, even if the character is, in the grand scheme of things, a fodder character, nothing relatively important. And I mean, the character does kind of serve a purpose with Magna's, character, him wanting to press forward and, be a better, Magic Knight and all that, but even then, though, he's not relatively that important. But still, I'm just glad to see that the writer is willing to kill off, at the very least, minor characters, because that lets us know that maybe eventually down the road, an important character can, in fact, die, which that would be really cool if that does happen. So, I just want to say, props to Black Clover. That definitely stood out to me. Just really happy about that, so just good stuff overall. Anyways, though, let's get right into the first thing, which I'm going to talk about, because I got to talk about it. I talk about it in almost every single review, and it just needs to be mentioned, because once again, it still is very unacceptable. Now, the recap, obviously, that's what I want to be talking about, the recap. Now, the recap this week, it wasn't as bad. I'm actually willing to say I would give it a pass. If this was the normal length of the Black Clover recap, like, being around 3 or so minutes, I'd give it a pass. I would say, you know what, this ain't bad. Keep going on. It's not enough to bug me. So, overall, the recap, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with the recap this week. The only problem I had with it this week was actually just the scenes towards the end for the padding to kind of, pad out the episode to extend it a little bit to get to that ending, but also the way they did the middle segment when it went on break, when there's ads and stuff between an episode, the break, when they came back, they just redid the entire scene again. That's my only problem with it. When it comes to recaps or whatever, and the padding, kind of slowing down the pacing, that was my only issue with the episode. So, overall, a step forward. It's a good step forward for Black Clover, so well done on Studio Clown for that. Yes, I'm actually saying well done, Studio Clown. Whoa, I can't even believe I'm saying that. Anyways, okay, so the action of this episode, that is the big thing that I want to talk about, because at the end of the day, this is a battle shonen, and battling in a shonen is a big aspect, especially for a shonen like this, that's just filled with cliches and all that. It's like the very essence of what a shonen is. The battles are very important. That is one of the biggest important factors of the series, because no matter how cliche it gets, okay, that doesn't necessarily matter. It comes down to actually the action of series like this. That's what it comes down to, because we're not going to probably be expecting like a story on the level of Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Boku no Hero Academia, but even though we're not going to be expecting a story that insane, at the end of the day, what really matters, does it have good action for a series that's quite like this, designed like it is. And I will say that, now the action of this episode, it was not the best, but it was still very fascinating. And then what stood out to me was actually the combo, the working together aspect of this, because there's a lot of shonen out there that don't have characters really working together. I mean, in some ways, I know many of you won't want me to mention this series, but there was certain things I did like about Fairy Tail when it did start, and that was the teamwork aspect of Fairy Tail. Seeing characters work together to bring down an opponent. It wasn't just always a 1v1 to bring down the big baddie, and that's why I really liked Fairy Tail. I want to puke just saying that, but that's why I liked Fairy Tail at first when I started the series, was because of the teamwork aspect of it, and I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that right here for Black Clover. I'm seeing this good teamwork between the characters. For instance, seeing, Noelle and all that, and also Asta, and then also Magna, working together and, taking down the villain in this episode. For instance, the combo, when you see Magna shoot his fireballs and all that, and then, Asta gets behind and he, hits him back, that was really cool. That was a really cool combo. Now, in terms of animation department and all that and art, it wasn't that amazing. And I think that really goes on to Studio Clown's issues, not actually the manga. I just still like a Studio Clown being Studio Clown, because, I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, let's just look at certain things from Naruto, let's look at certain things from, Bleach. Now, Bleach, granted, looked really good a lot of times, but there was some bad moments of it. And then, let's also look at Tokyo Ghoul. Recent examples. Tokyo Ghoul, that is a very good recent example. So, what I'm saying is that I think the terms of the fighting not looking that good, I think that's Studio Clown's fault. I don't think it's actually the manga or the series Black Clover itself, but in terms of combo-wise, just working together, that stood out to me, and I want more of that. I definitely want more of that. I really, really hope that is not a rare thing for Black Clover. Please, you know, manga readers, I'm just gonna ask, okay? You can please tell me, okay, in the comments below. Don't spoil, but please let me know. Is that a big aspect of Black Clover? Now, please don't just say that because you want me to be hyped up and like the series. I'm just going to say right now, please don't just say that. But I do want truth, though. Like, is that a big aspect of Black Clover teamwork? You know, instead of just having, like, a 1v1. Now, don't get me wrong, I like 1v1s as well. Like, seeing maybe in the future Asta go up against a strong opponent 1v1ing. I have no problem with that. But I love fights, especially in-game fights and all that, of an arc with everybody working together to bring someone down. So, just if anyone could clarify if that is a thing, please do so in the comments below. So, yeah, anyways, let's talk about the stuff with Noelle. So, Noelle, hopefully I'm saying her name right. I'm trying to say the English pronunciation of the name. If I'm saying it wrong, also correct me in the comments. But, she was able to, control her second spell she has, which is an improvement. And this makes me actually have a question. Now, I don't know if this has been clarified in the manga of the series or not, but I'm assuming that how many spells you have is how many pages you have in your grimoire. That's what I'm assuming, because when you think about it, there is a limited amount of pages in a book. I mean, I don't know if this is ever going to be addressed, because, I mean, obviously some books from what we have seen are bigger than others. We've seen that already in the series. It's been established. So, it makes me wonder, like, can one person maybe know about 10 spells, or someone else can know, like, 1,000, or, you know, 100,000, depending on how the book is. Because, I mean, when you think about it, there's a lot of books out there that can be very big, and we do know that the books vary in shape and size. We have seen that already when, you know, Oster's trying to get his. So, maybe in terms of how many spells someone can get, it really depends on how large their book is. And maybe that also could come into terms of power scaling or something. I could definitely see that being a thing. For instance, if your book is massive and all of that, with a lot of spells, maybe that would mean that either your potential, how strong you are, or maybe actually your lack of potential. What I'm saying is maybe the smaller the book or whatever, the least amount of spells is actually how strong you are, how scary you could become, because maybe the spell power is like split amongst the grimoire or something. Like, okay, example, let's say someone was able to have 50 spells, okay, in a book. And let's say Asta somehow manages to get spells to start activating and all that. Let's say his book only allows of maybe 5 spells or something, okay? 5 spells. That would mean that instead of having, like, all of his magic go into 50 different spells, it can be just in those 5, which would mean that these 5 spells would be a lot stronger than anything of the individual spells from the 50-page book could possibly do. That's what I'm curious. Now, I don't know, like I said, that is a thing. I don't know if the writer is going to go that path, but that does seem like a possibility because of how there could be a page limit or count. I could see how that could factor in with power scaling or something for a shonen. But I want to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further than that because I don't know, and I hope I'm not, you know, spoiling anything. I really hope not. I'm just theory crafting right now. So, yeah, let's talk about the ending. So the ending of the episode, basically the villain and his, you know, 2 people with him, his bodyguards and all that, they kill themselves. They actually end themselves. I'm like, so yeah, they had determination to kind of believe and all that and, you know, end themselves because they didn't want any information to get out. So that kind of hypes up the villain of this arc, I'm assuming, like a big major arc we're getting into. And also, it apparently seems like the stone that the bird had they gave to Asta, it seems like the stones are in some way going to be used to bring back the dude, or unseal the dude, or whatever is going on. So, yeah, I wanted to point that out. Very shonen thing to do. So, let's talk about the little boy. So, the little boy in this episode wants to be a magic knight, and that's something you see common in shonen. It's a big thing. I mean, an example I could take from is like Peliodas. You know Peliodas or whatever from Taizai? That's a very, like, easy example of seeing something similar like in a shonen. For instance, you have the main characters, they meet, you know, this boy or child or whatever, and then they give this child inspiration, and then that child, you know, eventually grows up to become a monster or whatever in the future of the series. Another good example is Kobe. Think about Kobe at the beginning of One Piece. Right at the start, Kobe was a weak wimp that couldn't really do much, and then all of a sudden, you know, Luffy talked some sense into him, gave him some development and all that, and eventually, you know, now he's a big thing in One Piece. So that could be what's going on here. That boy that was introduced could possibly be a powerhouse in the future of the series, late game down the road, could possibly be incredibly strong. I could definitely see something like that. So just wanted to point that out. But I want to end this video here. It was a good episode. I actually say I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching this week's episode of Black Clover. Wasn't perfect, but I had a lot of fun. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you hate this episode? If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please leave a like. And if you don't like this video and you don't like me, well, leave a dislike. Won't fault you for it. So love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.